Life presents us with storms that test the very foundation of our being. In these moments of adversity, when the world seems to press against us with relentless force, we discover whether we have built our inner temple on sand or on rock. The difference between those who crumble under pressure and those who emerge stronger lies not in the absence of struggle, but in the cultivation of mental fortitude that transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, give me a like, comment below about your thought and hit subscribe button so you don't miss any video inspired by Yogananda's teaching. Thank you very much. Mental strength is not something we are born with in full measure, nor is it a gift bestowed upon the fortunate few. It is an art that must be practiced daily, refined through conscious effort, and deepened through the very challenges we often wish to avoid. Like a muscle that grows stronger through resistance, the mind develops its greatest power when it learns to remain calm and centered amid the chaos of difficult circumstances. The foundation of mental strength begins with understanding the nature of our own consciousness. We are not merely physical beings subject to the whims of external circumstances. Within each of us lies a reservoir of infinite strength, a divine spark that remains untouched by the temporary storms of life. When we identify solely with our bodies, our possessions, or our circumstances, we become vulnerable to every shift in fortune. But when we recognize our true nature as spiritual beings having a temporary human experience, we tap into a source of strength that cannot be diminished by worldly troubles. This recognition requires a fundamental shift in perspective. Most people live their lives looking outward, believing that happiness and strength come from favorable external conditions. They think that if only they had more money, better health, ideal relationships, or perfect circumstances, then they would be strong and content. This is a profound misunderstanding of how true strength develops. External conditions are constantly changing, like waves upon the ocean. If we anchor our mental state to these fluctuating circumstances, we will forever be tossed about by forces beyond our control. True mental strength comes from turning inward and discovering the unchanging center within ourselves. This center exists beyond the reach of loss, failure, disappointment, or pain. It is the witness consciousness that observes all experiences without being destroyed by them. When we learn to identify with this deeper aspect of ourselves, we gain access to a stability that no external circumstance can shake. The practice of meditation becomes essential in this journey toward mental strength. Through regular meditation, we train the mind to withdraw from its constant engagement with external stimuli and rest in its own nature. In the silence of deep meditation, we touch that place within us that is eternally calm, eternally strong, eternally at peace. This is not an escape from reality but rather a return to the deepest reality of our being. From this centered place, we can face any challenge with greater clarity, courage, and resilience. When tough times arrive, as they inevitably do for everyone, our first instinct is often to resist what is happening. We tense up, we fight against reality, we exhaust ourselves wishing things were different. This resistance creates tremendous mental suffering. The situation itself may be difficult, but our resistance to it multiplies the pain many times over. Mental strength involves learning to accept what is, not with passive resignation, but with conscious acknowledgement of reality as it presents itself in this moment. Acceptance does not mean we approve of negative circumstances or that we stop working to improve them. Rather, it means we stop wasting our precious mental energy fighting against what has already occurred. We acknowledge the present moment fully, and from that place of acceptance, we can respond with wisdom rather than react with panic or despair. This is the difference between being a victim of circumstances and being a conscious participant in our own life story. Tough times also serve as powerful teachers if we approach them with the right attitude. Every difficulty contains within it a lesson, an opportunity for growth, a chance to develop qualities we might never have cultivated in easier times. Patience is learned through situations that test our patience. Courage is developed by facing our fears. Compassion deepens when we experience suffering ourselves. Resilience is built through the very act of recovering from setbacks. When we view challenges through this lens, they lose some of their power to devastate us. We begin to ask not, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "What is this here to teach me?" This shift in questioning transforms us from victims into students of life. We become active participants in our own evolution rather than passive recipients of random misfortune. The mind has a natural tendency to magnify problems, to catastrophize, to imagine worst-case scenarios that may never come to pass. This mental habit drains our energy and weakens our resolve. Mental strength requires that we discipline our thoughts, that we refuse to let the mind run wild with fearful imaginings. When we notice ourselves spiraling into negative thought patterns, we must gently but firmly redirect our attention to what is actually true in this present moment, not what we fear might happen in an imagined future. One of the most powerful practices for building mental strength is the cultivation of gratitude, especially during difficult times. When everything seems to be going wrong, the practice of finding something to be grateful for acts as an anchor for the mind. It reminds us that even in the midst of challenges, there are still blessings present in our lives. This is not about denying our difficulties or pretending everything is fine when it is not. Rather, it is about maintaining a balanced perspective that acknowledges both the challenges we face and the good that still exists. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, from what is broken to what still works, from what we have lost to what remains. This shift in focus has a profound effect on our mental state. It generates positive energy that strengthens our resolve and helps us maintain hope even in dark times. A grateful heart is a strong heart, capable of enduring much without becoming bitter or defeated. The company we keep also significantly influences our mental strength during challenging periods. Surrounding ourselves with people who are themselves mentally strong, who maintain faith and optimism in the face of adversity, who encourage rather than discourage, can make an enormous difference in our ability to weather storms. Conversely, spending time with those who are perpetually negative, who see only problems and no solutions, who drain our energy with their complaints and pessimism, will weaken our own mental resolve. We must be discerning about the influences we allow into our consciousness, not just in terms of people but also in terms of the information we consume, the entertainment we choose, the conversations we engage in. Everything we expose ourselves to either strengthens or weakens our mental state. During tough times especially, we need to be protective of our mental space, filling it with uplifting, strengthening influences rather than those that amplify fear and negativity. Physical practices also play a crucial role in mental strength. The body and mind are intimately connected, and when we neglect the body, the mind suffers as well. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, adequate sleep, and practices like yoga or tai chi help maintain the physical vitality that supports mental resilience. When we are physically depleted, everything seems harder, and our mental strength is compromised. Taking care of the body is not separate from cultivating mental strength, it is an essential component of it. Breathing exercises offer a particularly powerful tool for maintaining mental equilibrium during stressful times. The breath is the bridge between body and mind, and by consciously controlling our breathing, we can directly influence our mental state. When we are stressed or anxious, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid. By deliberately slowing and deepening the breath, we send a signal to the nervous system that we are safe, that we can relax, that we have the resources to handle what we are facing. Another key aspect of mental strength is the ability to maintain perspective. When we are in the midst of a crisis, it often feels like it will last forever, that we will never recover, that this is the end of everything. But if we look back on our lives, we can see that we have survived every difficult period we have faced so far. We have weathered storms before and emerged on the other side. This historical perspective reminds us that we are more resilient than we often give ourselves credit for, and that this too shall pass. It helps to remember that some of the most successful, admired, and spiritually advanced people in history faced tremendous adversity. Their strength was not developed in spite of their challenges but because of them. The difficulties they faced became the forge in which their character was tempered and strengthened. We are part of this same human story, and we have access to the same inner resources that allowed others to triumph over adversity. Faith plays a vital role in mental strength, whether that faith is directed toward a higher power, toward the inherent goodness of life, toward our own inner resources, or toward the ultimate meaningfulness of our journey. Faith is not blind belief, but rather a deep trust that there is a larger intelligence at work in our lives, that we are supported by forces beyond our limited understanding, that even our struggles serve a purpose in our growth and evolution. This faith allows us to surrender the need to control everything, to release our grip on how we think things should be, and to trust in the unfolding of life even when we cannot see the path ahead clearly. Surrender is not weakness but rather the ultimate strength, the recognition that we are part of something larger than ourselves and that we can trust in that larger reality even when our personal perspective is limited. As we develop mental strength through these various practices and perspectives, we discover something remarkable. We find that we are capable of far more than we ever imagined. We realize that the limitations we thought were fixed are actually flexible, that the strength we thought we lacked was always present within us, waiting to be discovered. We learn that tough times, rather than destroying us, can actually reveal our true power and deepen our connection to the unshakable core of our being. The art of growing mentally strong in tough times is ultimately about remembering who we truly are beneath all the temporary circumstances of our lives. It is about connecting with the eternal aspect of ourselves that cannot be diminished by any external event. It is about training the mind to remain calm and centered regardless of what storms may rage around us. And it is about transforming our relationship with difficulty itself, seeing challenges not as enemies to be avoided but as opportunities to discover and develop our deepest strengths. This journey requires patience, practice, and persistence. We will not become mentally strong overnight, and we will have moments when we falter, when we forget what we know, when we feel overwhelmed by our circumstances. This is natural and human. The key is to keep returning to our practices, to keep choosing strength over weakness, faith over fear, acceptance over resistance. Each time we make this choice, we become a little stronger, a little more resilient, a little more capable of handling whatever life brings our way. In the end, mental strength is not about never experiencing difficulty or pain. It is about developing the inner resources to meet whatever arises with grace, courage, and wisdom. It is about building a foundation within ourselves that remains solid even when everything external is shaking. And it is about discovering that within us lies an infinite source of strength, peace, and resilience that no circumstance can ever take away.